Good morning. I am looking so much more presentable today as I've had a haircut and a beard trim, which was very much needed since last week's vlog. 24 weeks out and prep's going well. We've had a bit of a rocky week, shall we say, as I wasn't too well. Now, a little bit of a mild infection / illness, which saw my weight actually come back up quite a lot. But there has been some supplementation at play this week that has been re-added, which will influence a little bit of body weight shift as well. So we do have to expect that somewhat. Now, this prep is a little bit different than the last one because I did start this prep off the back of a pre-prep phase, and I did already pull back on the food a little bit during that phase as well. So my body comp isn't terrible. I mean, not terrible for the body weight that I'm at anyway. So body weight update, 276 this morning. So no movement across this week on average at all, which is fine. Definitely no issues. I know that I am in a deficit. I know that I do look leaner. I know that I have dropped body fat, and I know it has been a great productive week. So today, it's actually a rest day, and I actually slept in a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, Saturday is not a busy day with check-ins. There's a lot of client updates, and there's a few check-ins to do, but it's never really anything dramatic. Normally on Saturday, I do have either a team call or an excellence lecture that I need to do for my mentoring team. So it's a steady day. Should I say a steady day? Is it ever a steady day? I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm going to take you on another day in the life today, showing my rest day diet and go over that and explain the whys and hows for the day. Now, on a rest day, I always aim to make sure everything's wrapped up by like 4 or 5 p.m. and then I can switch off and relax completely. Today, we might actually do a cinema trip, we'll see. But for now, I need to get stuck into some client replies. We've got a couple of lads that are on prep that always require immediate attention. So we've got, especially Darren and Ryan at the moment, they are in the thick of it, and they're both getting very close to being ready. So there's daily monitoring now from like 6-7 weeks out. We've got Randy on prep, he's getting very close now as well, so that's every other day check-ins for him. We've got Frederique, his wife. She is flying in her bikini prep. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing everyone compete this year because everyone seems to nail it at the moment. And that's what happens, right? When you tick the boxes and you follow the plan. It's not hard. But the hard part is the boring part, which is the consistency in daily do. Now, you might want to ask what the lights. We've got the Lumi light and we've got cozy red light. Main reason why? Well, look at UK. That's pretty much what it's like all the time. So I need some vitamin D in me. So I need some artificial daylight exposure because we actually get no real exposure, so I have to replace it. And genuinely, both of these do make a big difference to my focus, my mood, and generally how I feel. So, right, back to work, and then I will see you on the treadmill. Okay, steps time. I do have a little microphone on now, so you should be clear as day. Should have perfect audio, which is always the goal, right? Do the vlogs better, do the training better. Everything we do, we try and do it better, right? First block of steps is going down, fasted, as always, at 5 kilometers per hour and 2.5% incline. Now, 22 minutes every single day is what I currently do. And that is pretty much my baseline that I stick with year round. 10,000 steps is the one, and to be honest, it never changes in prep or in off season. The only thing I manipulate is the calories, and this allows me to actually get in shape. And the closer I get, the more I actually need to watch out to not go over my steps, as it does affect the legs, in my opinion, especially as you do get heavier. For the bigger guys, smaller guys and girls, doesn't really matter that much, but as you do get above 250, 260,
even 240, I think it does make a big difference. So first block of steps going down, and then meal 1. Now, when it comes to steps and step targets, make sure you don't do them all at once. The whole point of steps is it's low impact. Therefore, you should always spread it across the day. And having a little bit of activity after meals as well helps with digestion massively. So spread your steps out, ideally post meals. It helps. Right, we've got meal 1 going down and 60 grams of Whey ISO Pro. We've got the white chocolate hazelnut with 50 grams of water. And then I do have my little spatula to do the mixing, just so you can see. That's how it's done. If you want perfect consistency, always add just a little bit less water and it comes out absolutely perfect. Now, my steps are done, so time for meal 1. Normally on rest day, I do eat my meal 1 a little bit later. However, I do not fast ever. I'm not a fan of fasting. I think if your goal is retaining muscle, if your goal is building muscle, 1, you need consistent feedings of your protein to spike your MPS, spike the whole protein synthesis. And I do think that a lot of people, especially in a contest prep, try to do way too much fasting. I think a period of not eating is good, yes. However, I don't think it should be any more than 2-3 hours from the time you wake up. Personally, for me, the maximum I have is like 2.5 hours from me waking up until I actually eat. On training day, it's more like 90 minutes. I literally wake up, I do 30-40 minutes of work. I come down, I continue working whilst I'm stepping, and then I eat my meal, and then I get straight back to work, as you will have seen on 25 weeks out video. So that's generally my advice. And I have seen a big difference with some natural clients that have come to me that used to fast for long periods in past. It's just not the best, in my opinion, when it comes to trying to retain the most amount of muscle that you can. So I've got sticky toffee, cream of rice. That's in the microwave right now. And I'm not gonna lie, the sticky toffee is actually pretty amazing. So I generally do mix flavors sometimes, but I think these are absolutely banging. Now, cream of rice, or shall I say whey meals, I limit them to only consuming 2 per day. The main reason for that is if I have any more, I feel like I'm cheating on my diet. It's just too easy. So I generally stick to 2 per day. And that's like a little treat as well. And I mean, dieting's easy. When you have stuff like cream of rice, I mean, you're pretty much eating a pudding twice a day. So anyone that cannot stick to a diet in this day and age with amazing flavors we have with cream of rices and whey, for example, and even Ninja Creamies now, there's no excuses. There really isn't. If you want to do it, you will. If you don't want to do it, find an excuse as to why you are not doing it, always. Here we go, meal number 1. We've got 60 grams of ISO Pro, 100 strawberry, 100 blueberry, 20 grams of 100% dark chocolate, and 100 grams of sticky toffee cream of rice. This is a treat. Boom.
And I remember I went on the 4th one, that was ringing in my ears when I got off stage. I'm like, Jay told me I had to get 3 more to catch it.
I wanted 5 though, to be honest. That was like, because I wanted to push.
When you all went in there, so she's now just trying to run around the house trying to find everybody. Oh, look how excited she is to see you. You should have seen her there. She just came running straight in. She was looking around and she looked really upset when she could find you. I think that she's smiling when she sees you. She definitely is.
We've got meal 1 and then my rest day tissue work. So I'll show you what goes down. I have tissue work done every rest day, believe it or not. So every 4 days. And I think it does make a difference. Keeps me nice and injury free. Right, here we go. That's meal 1 consumed, as you can clearly see. I probably have some residues on my beard, but
I think it might be clear. Yeah, it's pretty clear, I think. Feels like it's clear anyway. Normally, I do have a little bit of eye cell and beard. Anyway, every 4 days, we actually have full body tissue work with Will. And it has been consistently like this for a long time now. So every rest day, at the moment, Specialist training 3 times. Training 3 days in a row, 3 times, I'm talking about. Specialist training 3 days in a row now. It's very much needed on the rest days. So now every 4 days we do have full body MOT. And to be honest, definitely keeps you fresh. I mean, tissue work doesn't like stretch your fascia, anything like this that people claim. But tissue work, especially when it's done precisely and it's not done too hard, will definitely aid in recovery because it does lead to more blood flow, right? And blood flow does promote recovery in itself. So that's what tissue work is all about. It's not necessarily to stretch your fascia, do anything that's like gimmicky. It doesn't do that, no. But it does have benefits when it comes to recovery in general health, I would say. So, plan of action will be lay down, chill, listen to a podcast, let Will do its thing, and then I have my 20 minutes in sauna that I do every rest day as well. And sauna benefits are endless, and I'll touch on that a little bit for you all. But anyway, now I'm going to enjoy my massage and peace out. See you again soon.
So whilst Kuba has been getting massaged, I bulk prep. Kuba does all of his meals. I just help out where I can. I think if you've got a partner who does compete, obviously I do compete as well. However, if you are someone who doesn't compete, just trying to understand what it is that they want from you in terms of support is very important, because sometimes you might do too much and it gets them stressed and you've weighed something that potentially they want to be able to weigh themselves, or other times you might not do enough. And that's just what a relationship is all about. You need to have that communication to be able to have that open and honesty so that you can understand how to support them. And essentially, potentially you don't bodybuild and maybe you don't understand it, but think about it in this same breath. That person in your partnership who is a bodybuilder, if you were to be doing something that is not bodybuilding but that you want support with, trying to set up a new business, wanting to go through a pregnancy for a baby, would you expect 100% support from that partner? Yes, you would. So if that person's doing something and committing themselves and dedicating themselves to a certain thing, be supportive. Be honest if obviously there's things that potentially they're doing or being wrong, and that's just a normal relationship. But don't make them feel bad for doing something that's dedicating their life, because I actually think it's very attractive when someone wants to commit themselves to something and doesn't just want to kind of plod along with life. Again, if you're a plodder, be a plodder. But if you want to be someone who does something and has a desire to do a certain thing, you definitely shouldn't be held back by anybody. So definitely ask them what support they want so that you can give them everything they need. Here, oh, there, is Kuba's rice. He weighed it out himself, put it in the rice cooker. All I've done is literally divide it out so that it's in the right grams, in the right boxes for him. He'd actually forgot to do his peppers, and I think that he'd be very upset if he hopped off the couch when he is having his massage and to realise that he'd not cooked his peppers, and he'd have to have some raw peppers, and they don't digest as nice when they're a little bit crunchy for him. So I've cooked some peppers and then I've equalled or put the same amount of peppers in each of those different boxes. So he has 100 grams in the black plate of rice, 80 grams in all of those, and that's what I've done for him. I've made sure everything's nice and bulk cooked in the fridge with the grams of the things on our little board there that you can see. And then that way he can literally just whack it all in his tub, throw it on the pan, no stress, rock and roll, meaning that obviously then we do our jobs, because it's so nice that obviously he has his jobs, I have my jobs. It means that shit gets done, and we don't have to stress about having to do loads of things late at night time, or we're not kind of trying to get in each other's way when we're both trying to cook our meals, etc. I make sure that my meals are about 10 minutes after Kuba's, so I'm not getting in his way when he's trying to cook and prepare, and that's just what works really well. So find what works for you, whether you're a bodybuilder or not, whether you go to the gym or not. Be that support, and it'll be good for your relationship and as you step forwards.
Right. So, food prep time. We have got 4 meals that I'm going to get ready. We've got my chicken meals. So at the moment we've got 2 chicken meals. We've got 1 beef and egg whites. And then we do have prawns and salmon. So we do have a fish meal in there as well. So normally what I do is on a rest day, after my tissue work, I will get my meals ready for the day. So we've got 4 meals that are out now, and the reason why I do like to get them ready for the day is because this way, when I do have all my meals prepared, all I need to do then is in between work, or if I need to go out anywhere, all I do then is pop the meal in the pan, it's ready to go, and I can just crack on with the day rather than trying to do it in bits and bobs. I like to stay organised, and I like to get everything ready so that then the day goes a little bit more smooth. So I do like to get everything set. Now, body feels actually pretty good, especially now I've had some tissue work done. I'm actually feeling pretty fresh. Now, as you can see, my rice is split into 4 meals. We do have a little bit of veg in each meal, and I do weigh out my veg. However, when it comes to tracking the food and setting my macros, I don't actually add my veg in. And the main reason for that is my veg intake stays the same year round, so it does not change. It's a variable that's constant and it does not get manipulated. So generally on a rest day, I take like 450 veg, and then on training day, it's just a little bit less. But fruit does tend to just come up slightly in an off season and then reduce slightly in prep, but I never actually dip below like 500 grams of fruit, and it's always a mixture and variety. So that's the way I have to go always. Now, the rice is washed, so portions wise we've got 80 times 3, and then we do have 1 portion 100 grams of rice for my venison and egg whites. And then generally I split up my meat, add my veg, and then leave my meals on the side, and then add anything else that I need to add as I go along. So I'll crack on and get this done, then I will show you the end product once it's all done. Right guys, that's it. We are prepped for the day. We are going to do meal number 2 shortly, but this is how the meals are presenting. So I've got meal number 5, meal number 3 or 4, meal number 2, that's going to be venison, egg whites, and rice and veg. Then we've got the next chicken meal. We've got a meal number 6, which is going to be chocolate orange cream of rice. And then we've got our peppers for tomorrow that are all weighed out, neatly chopped into little squares. Egg whites, and then we've got my venison, and then we've got my tomato that I'm going to go with the egg whites. So that is preparation done. That's all prepped and done. Now, I'm going to actually do a little bit more steps now. A few more minutes, and then I'll get my meal number 2 ready, which is going to be the venison and the egg white omelette, which is going to be topped on the rice. I really like egg whites and rice, or eggs and rice. It's the best. But anyway, that's how I like to roll with the meal prep for the day. And generally, I like to do this for both training day and rest day, because to me, it just allows me to be super efficient. It allows me to then focus on work rather than having to worry about having a break. And then each time it comes to meal time, 20 minutes of prep work, then a meal. Instead of that, it's literally work, come downstairs, put the meal in the pan, eat, back to it. So it just makes things a little bit more efficient. And this way I can kind of stay locked into that zone, which is much easier. Now, just a small little tip for cooking in your air fryer, if you put tin foil in and then put your meat on top, you don't have to clean it because then it stays clean. So all you do, take your air fryer out, put your tin foil in, and then I do have my venison steak burger, which is literally just venison minced by my dear mum. And then this goes into the air fryer for 8 minutes. I flip it over at minute number 6, and then it's a perfect little burger. Now, the reason why I have venison is because 1, I really like it. 2, it's very, very lean. And guess what? I do like to always keep red meat in. However, if it comes to an additional fat source, I would rather actually have some other quality fat source rather than actually having fat from red meat. So I always prefer to have leaner red meat cuts, especially in prep. In off season, I do allow myself to have sometimes some fillet steak or leaner cuts of steak, but generally in prep, venison only. And to be honest, majority of the off season, it's always venison anyway. So it's tasty and it's super lean, especially when you make it like this. It's like a medium rare burger. But top tip for your steaks and venison, any red meat that you do, before you cook it, take it out of the fridge for at least 40 minutes to an hour, just so it's at room temp, especially if you have it medium rare. This way, the meat isn't cold inside. If you take it out of the fridge, then cook it straight away, the meat will be cold inside. It's just not as nice. And guess what? We do like the food tasting good. Part of sustainable bodybuilding. Or shall we say, I think it's got to be sustainable, yeah, but shall we say it's got to be part of bodybuilding where you can actually stick to your diet and not have to suffer unnecessarily. I think a lot of people do tend to just eat complete dog food, and then they wonder why they're binging all the time because, well, guess what? If you're eating such crap meals year round, you're probably not going to be able to stick to your diet. So, food for thought. So, second lot of steps now. I'll probably do like 3 minutes at speed of 4.5 kilometers per hour, and then I will eat in the meal number 2, and I'll likely do like a 5-6 minute walk outside. So spread out my steps into small little intervals, and then I can just spend the remainder of my time working, locked into my desk, and then when I actually need to put my feet up, I can afford to do that without having to catch up. Now, my days are very consistent. Meal timing is the same. The times when I do my steps are the same. And my work times are very much the same. I think if you build your routine with as much consistency as possible, I really think it leads to so much more results, both in your bodybuilding, but also any other task that you're trying to accomplish, because it's almost autonomous when I am doing my daily tasks. I almost do them without thinking. It's like wait time, straight to work, because it's almost like my body clock is already used to getting into these habits and routines where I'm waking up, I'm working, I'm doing my steps, then I'm straight back to work. So I do think you can almost develop like consistency, and I think the discipline then becomes second nature, where you act based off habit. And I really think that's going to be a game changer for some of you guys that are struggling with productivity or just struggling with accomplishing shit. Get it done, stay consistent, and try to do the shit same time every single day. We are creatures of habit. It's only going to benefit you long term. Now, some of you will notice I don't actually use 1 cal spray. I just use a little bit of regular oil that I spray on the pan, and then I wipe it off using a tea towel. Just so much better. The 1 cal spray is actually pretty crap when it comes to giving your pan the moisture that's needed. So I often use avocado oil that comes in a spray, and I actually put that on the pan instead. And it's actually shown me to be far more effective when it comes to giving the pans moisture, but also not having additional calories that can be added. Now that's my actual venison all cooked. So pan is always used for me to sear my rice because it's just so much tastier. And to be honest, I am not a fan of using the microwave to ever warm the rice. If I can avoid it, I always do, because generally it just doesn't taste quite as good. And I think off the pan just tastes so much better. Now, top tip to get your omelette right is heat your pan to a very high heat, and then add your egg whites or your eggs, and then drop it down to medium heat. Now, the addition to the omelette today is 25 grams of tomato, and then I do have my peppers that split across my 4 meals added into my rice, with 25 grams of mushrooms. So, like I mentioned, the veg intake remains consistent with the actual calories and the grams of veg that I take in every single day. It never increases. I don't actually increase my veg intake to try and get more satiety. I simply suck it up. And one thing I've actually done the past couple of preps is I have never actually, or I haven't passed, but the last couple of preps I've actually avoided volumizing the food. And in my opinion, it's actually helped with the hunger when I do get hungry in prep. I think sometimes volumizing the food actually makes you more hungry. Anyway, I'm not going to waffle on much more. I'm going to get this ready, and then I'll show you the end product. Right, that's the end product. We've got 125 venison, 150 egg whites. We've got 6 grams of Melinda's truffle sauce. And then we've got the veg and 100 grams of rice underneath and 100 grams of blueberries. I will give you a full breakdown of the macros for the day later on, but this is a wholesome meal. I'm looking forward to it.
Nothing but prep. Nothing else mattered, and you can't do that nowadays. You know, I have other priorities. I got to make sure that I take care of my family. I got to make sure they're taken care of first. And
Hey everybody, welcome to It's Just Bodybuilding. I'm Big Ron Partlow, and of course I'm here with Dusty Hanshaw and the producer, Scott McNally. Remember to like.
Oosh, I'm steaming. That was 20 minutes done in the sauna now. So, bath time for me. Now, benefits of sauna. Massive, massive cardiovascular health benefits. That's the main reason why I personally use it. And anecdotally, I have seen better sleep, better recovery, again, more blood flow, which does promote recovery in itself. So if you do have access to sauna, I highly advise it if you just are looking for improvement in heart health and just general well-being. If you do not have access to a sauna, a red hot bath will do a similar thing. And blood flow, again, it's coming, baby. 1 week in, we're shredded. Blood flow to the tissue is always going to promote recovery. So anything you can do to speed up recovery and improve it, you should do, because inevitably it will lead to better outcomes, right? Right, bath time, and then I will get back to work, do a little bit more updates and meal free, and then probably go out for the day, maybe, or cinema. We'll see. See what Meg fancies, right? Right, next meal going down. I've got meal number 3, meal number 4. Now, this chicken meal has 30 grams of avocado, so both meals are 225 chicken raw weight, 80 grams of rice. We've got 50 grams of mushroom, 25 grams of peppers, 50 grams of spinach, and 50 grams of pineapple. Now, a little bit of dash seasoning, which is what I use for all of my food. No salt, no additives, just pure raw ingredients, which are pretty epic. So I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of this on, and then put 5 grams of no calorie / low calorie sauce on both of these. So I'm going to eat this now. This one now. I'm going to take this one out with me. And I'm not sure what we're doing yet. Probably going to cinema. We'll see. Majority of work is wrapped up for the day. The big stuff, the important stuff is anyway. So I've probably got some form clips that I need to review and just some client replies. As you know, with coaching, it never ends. Once you complete one task, you're on to the next. But it is important to keep boundaries, and it is important to make sure that you deliver on a timely manner so that you can continuously provide a great service, which means being strict with the times at which you work and being strict with the times at which you do not. So your attention is not divided and you can focus on one thing. Multitasking is a myth. Multitasking simply leads to poor quality delivery of whatever task you are trying to accomplish. So, no, you're not doing yourself a favor by multitasking, you're actually doing the opposite. So I've actually opted for a little bit of barbecue. Now, one thing I forgot to mention is these little bad boys. This is my omega and magnesium. So I actually consume quite a high amount of omegas and magnesium. I actually take in probably about 1,200 milligrams of elemental magnesium, which is probably about 5,000, 5,500, 6,000-ish of the magnesium that is stated on the bottle. So I take in a cap with each meal pretty much, and then I actually have more pre-bed within my last meal. And main reason for that is, guys, magnesium benefits are endless. I mean, your relaxation, central nervous system, electrolyte balance, it's huge. And omegas, again, anti-inflammatory, self-explanatory with omegas, what they actually do, but honestly, the benefits of both of these are pretty much endless. I could literally go on for about 15 minutes just talking about both of the benefits and the real purpose of taking both of these. But I have covered it in previous videos, so give that a watch. But anyway, take this in now, and then get the meal down. Let's get it. What watching?
Snow White.
Snow White. Superwoman. I'm actually looking forward to it. We'll see. I'll give you a review after. I know you expected me to watch something super manly, but not today. Today I want to watch Snow White.
I've not seen a lot of the remakes that they've made with real people from when they did it as cartoons.
Yeah.
I'd like to see. Hopefully this will be a good one.
Review pending. Whoosh! We're back home. What did you think of the Snow White?
I thought it was really good. What did you think?
Yeah, I think it's decent. I don't really like to read reviews anymore. I just like to watch the trailer and make my own mind up. I wasn't a fan of Captain America. Now, if you're watching this and you got to this point, let me know what you think. Scale of 1 to 10 for Captain America.
Scale
And
of
the
1
Snow
to
White.
Dark Knight.
Scale of 1 to Dark Knight. Well, if Dark Knight's a 10, then Captain America would be a 1. So, Captain America, probably going to give a 4 out of 10. Do not recommend, was shit. Snow White, 7 out of 10.
Oh.
Yeah. So,
What
that's
did you
that.
think about Wonder Woman as the...
That's what was a
witch?
7. It's just, I couldn't really... Yeah, I couldn't really...
I couldn't switch off from it.
the characters...
Yeah, she
The
wasn't.
characters were not right for
She
the role.
wasn't like her real.
So, that's what's a 7. The film was good in itself.
At least she tried.
It's just the characters. Yeah. She did well. It's just, once you play a certain character, I don't think you can play someone else. Anyway, because I've just been sat on my bum for 3 hours, quick 5 minutes on the treadmill now, followed by my meal number 5, and I'll probably do another 5 minutes on the treadmill, and then it'll be time to switch off for the evening.
Okay, that's meal 5 ingested, as you could see from the picture. And I did actually show you meals earlier as well, but I actually ate it without thinking about you, so I do apologise. But you've seen enough of me today, and you will get to see meal number 6. Now, time to chill, put my blue light blockers on. Raw Optics, if you don't know, now you do know, I've actually used them for like the last 5 years, and they are epic. So if you do want some real blue light blockers to actually do something, I very much recommend Raw Optics. Raw Optics. As you can see, it's non-uniform day because it's not a training day, so we've got essentials on, if you know what I mean. Non-uniform day being no JP today.
Essentials X TBJP.
Yep, Essentials X TBJP. Anyway, macros for today. We have got 370 protein. We have got 500 carb and 60 fat for the day. So that is the macros for rest day at the moment, which is just over 4,000 calories, or thereabouts. So let's just say 4,000 calories. That's how the rest day food is looking. Now, every rest day looks the same. Routine stays the same. Work, some chill time, meals, steps, and pretty much rinse and repeat. As Jay Cutler said, you've got to live in a box, but sometimes living in a box does give you a bit of happiness, because I definitely think living a simple life, doing what we like, doing what we enjoy is good. And occasionally we do get to do some different things now and again, and we live the life. So that's all she wrote for today, guys. I'm going to go and watch my Yellowstone, as we are on episode 14 of season 5, so it's the last episode of the series. Yeah, I know. Guys, give me some good recommendations below for new series. I've actually got Penguin to watch left. Penguin, remember that. Make sure you write it down. We've got Penguin to watch. We've got something just came out 20th. Raising Canaan and Gangs of London. There's a lot that's just come out lately, so ideal time for prep. Night Agent. Do you know what? Season 1 was great. This season's terrible. Yeah, it's terrible. But if we run out of series, we might give that a bash again. Yeah. Let me know which one below.
Adolescent looks good as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that one, but we'll watch it. There's also one about boxing as well on Prime, so we'll watch that one. 1,000 Blows. That's the one. What? It's the guy from...
I just bit my mouth. That's not really...
Anyway. Time to go and chill on the sofa before meal 6. And I will show you the preparation for meal 6, which is this cream of rice here. That one. Chocolate orange cream of rice. Product placement. No product placement. Code Kuba 10. You know the drill.
I'm just actually getting our nighttime drinks ready. So I've got some GABA here. And Dream Sleep. And melatonin. And some antihistamines that we take every single night. And what else do we take in our nighttime shake? We've got glutamine, GABA, and 2 scoops of Join In, which go into our nighttime drink. And then we do have 10 grams of glutamine from me, 5 grams of glutamine from Meg, and then we've got creatine and glutamine in our morning drinks as well, with some Trained by JP hydration formula, which is now flavoured. So it's actually tremendous to start the day with some hydration, creatine for performance and brain health, and then glutamine for gut health. So we tick all the boxes. The hydration for tomorrow is going to be this one. So we'll get that in. And we'll finish the cream of rice. So we've got... Whoop, I think it's actually done. We've got my chocolate. So we've got 60 grams of custard ISO Pro. We have 100 grams of cream of rice, and then we are going to have 100 grams of strawberries, 100 grams of blueberries, 25 grams of almond butter. That will do. Right. I actually have our nighttime drink and dream sleep with melatonin about 20-30 minutes before this meal. So I'll generally eat this meal, I'll finish off our morning drinks and then go straight to sleep. I do not believe that you need to be eating 90 minutes or 2 hours before bed. I have always eaten right before bed, and guess what? Even at like 275 now, my own ring tells me that I'm sleeping like a trooper, and I'm getting 90s in my sleep scores. So I'm a believer that when it comes to sleep and optimization of sleep, personally, if I was to eat my last meal 2 hours before bed, I would probably be waking up hungry. Now, top tip for measuring your almond butter: you put the almond butter down, you weigh it, and then you scoop it out to get the right measurements without over consuming it. I actually caught a few clients on the YouTube before. There was weighing the almond butter out and licking the spoon when the spoon was like half full, and I was like, dude, you probably just had an extra 10 grams of almond butter. What are you doing? And I mean, almond butter is calorie dense as well, so it's not like you're just adding a couple of calories, you're adding a substantial amount of calories. So stop being silly. Right, could you please get some frozen fruit? And I'm going to put your oats in the microwave. Right, final meal: 25 grams of almond butter, 200 grams of fruit, 60 grams of ISO Pro, and 100 grams of chocolate orange cream of rice. Boom.
Everyone's got to get on the gear. Should be geared to the gills. And then we need like a fishing to swim across the screen. Geared to the gills. Oh, we're good. That's a new t-shirt. Geared to the gills. Hashtag.
We're good. We're good.
Self-enhanced.
Alright guys,
Okay.
so it's now
I'm gonna spend the
exactly 8:10. So, time for me to eat this, get my dishes ready for the morning, and then time for me to head to bed. So guys, 24 weeks out vlog. I will continue with the weekly vlogs. So whatever happens and whatever lands on the Saturday, next week, you'll get to see. So guys, thank you. Peace out for now. Good night.